Oh, hi, I'm feminist Erin Gibson.
Oh, hi, I'm homosexual Brian Safi.
Oh, hi, and this is Attitudes.
Oh, hi, gender issues.
Oh, hi, pop gay. Wait,
do you know what I talk about, Erin, on this show? I talk about
LGBTQ plus, and I talk about gender issues, but then we also
I know. See, I fucked up.
We also talk about pop culture.
Yes, and listen, if you haven't been to Australia, join the club. Can you handle it?
I tried to tell somebody I met from Australia in Canada.
Yeah.
Because the Commonwealth or whatever. Because there's a lot of Australians there.
Commonwealth to Commonwealth.
I tried to ask them about FIGJAM. They had no idea what I was talking about.
Well, listen, there's very big difference between a true Australian. Everyone knows that there's a big difference between an Australian who goes to Canada and an Australian who stays in Australia. And Australians who stay in Australia know what FIGJAM means.
Okay, so this is the defining moment of any Australian's life. Are you going to stay in Australia or are you going to go to Canada?
Correct.
Okay.
FIGJAM, for those of you who don't know, is an acronym in Australia
Small
that
boat.
they use that means, yes, it means fuck, I'm good, just ask me, for someone who's like a huge fan of themselves. And that's putting it nicely.
It's the demure of 3 years ago.
Correct. I would,
okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Just forever, we are keeping trends alive that are just specific to this show for at least 5 years. That's how we do on this show.
Ma'am,
yeah.
Can I do my life hack now?
Yeah. Okay, so Brian was drinking cold stump.
I was drinking my cold stump.
Brewtown coffee.
Well, because Erin, everyone said, oh, it looks like you're a snake oil salesman, or it looks like you're, Erin,
sarsaparilla.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But here's my life hack. I didn't have enough time to brew my own coffee today. So I always keep a couple bottles of cold brew in the back of my fridge.
Why is that a life hack?
Because this is for everyone who doesn't have enough time. You get your cold brew.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If you wake up right before, this is really for people about to record a podcast. If you wake up right before you're about to record
so 9:50 a.m.
If you wake up at 9:50, if you have to set your alarm, do you understand, to wake up at 9:50 a.m., I think probably all of us have to. And you don't have time to make coffee, you reach your sweet arm, Stretch Armstrong, right into the back of the fridge, and you say, thank God for good grace, easy things, or whatever. Thank God for small blessings.
Yes. And by small blessings, you mean you a week ago just going to wherever, Lazy Acres or what have you, and saying, oh, those look good and they're on sale.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll help me in the future.
$2.99. I also buy them whenever I know I have a flight that week. See, isn't that clever? Because that way I know, like, oh my God, if my flight's at like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 10, 11, 12 noon, I know that if I don't have time to brew coffee, I can take this in the Uber. And if it sloshes around, it's not my car. So
not your car, not your problem.
So anyway, that's all.
That is, and it's I'm being clear. The life hack is that you went to the grocery store and bought groceries. That's the life hack.
It's one way to put it. Sure.
Okay. So what do you do? Go to the grocery store and buy myself groceries? Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Well, you should start because it can make life much easier.
Well, here's the problem with my home. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I do nice things for other people. Like, for example, when I was here, I started buying sparkling water.
Yeah.
And then when I got back.
See, that's a good life hack.
It's a good life hack. And so everyone had sparkling water. It was joyful in this house. And then when I got back, my nephew who's living with us says, whatever happened to the sparkling water? Just a day after I got back, after being gone for about 8 months.
Yeah, see?
Said, remember when we used to have sparkling water? And I said, do you see the parallels in that I bought them and then I left and no one bought them. And then the minute I came back, now it's my responsibility again. So I actually don't buy anything.
Welcome to, I gotta say, I went to a birthday party this weekend. And two of the people there I've known a long time, but they moved back to New York a long time ago, but they were in town. And
this is in Los Angeles?
Correct. And
I have a guess on who I think this is, but go ahead.
No, I don't think you have any idea, actually. I didn't mean it to sound so pointed. Look at that ring.
No, let me tell you something. You have no idea who these people from New York are. Oh,
no,
this?
You might. Erin. No, don't try to hide what you just did to me.
It's the only finger it fits on.
Erin just put up her middle finger to me and then pretended like she didn't because she put up all the other fingers very slowly. Erin, that's gorgeous. I got to tell you, that's very like Liberace, but like Southwestern Liberace.
Thank you. Yeah,
I love it.
By the way, my new aesthetic is Mrs.
Oh, it's
T.
great. All of it is great.
I want to look like Mrs. T.
Sure.
So many gold chains. I'm literally hunched over by the weight of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And I don't know how to get it except buying those things.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was free.
That would be a life hack.
Yeah. I got this at a museum in Albuquerque.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Spiny something. Spiny turquoise, spiny orange, spiny.
The spiny orange
Anybody love gems on here? Oh, by the way, our lady attorneys are here.
They are. We're so excited. We've got everybody. Tony's here. Devin, Tom, Tony, Devin, Tom.
Spiny oyster turquoise. That's right. It's an orange.
That's the name
turquoise.
of the museum? Oh, that's the name of the ring.
That's the name of my ring.
Okay.
And then this is a local artist. Look, she makes these beaded things. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Good luck getting them. They show up and then they disappear and then that's it. That's how they do here in the Southwest.
Sure.
You get it if you get it, and if you don't get upset.
I love it. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, lady attorneys. Everyone should know.
Yes.
All here. And I want to know from any lady attorneys, if you had any life hacks this morning, we can talk in the Q&A afterwards. Just prepare your life hacks of like, did you have an egg prepared for yourself in the fridge? Maybe you had butter all ready to go, a piece of bread for toast.
Isn't that
Maybe
funny? A lot of grocery store foods are life hacks. Isn't that wonderful?
The whole idea of a grocery store, as you've laid it out, is one entire life hack.
Can someone please tell me when we're going to record groceries again? That's what I want to know.
I thought we were doing it this week.
Oh, we start this week?
According to the email that was sent out, Bryan.
That's right.
You know what want you to say? You know what another life hack is reading your emails.
No, I know. But, sometimes they come through like midday's hard for me. In morning, I'm not quite awake yet. In the evening, I'm already, on my couch doing my blankets and stuff. So you really haven't found the sweet spot yet.
I'm going to tell you something. This is my life hack. I'm having a hard time adjusting to America.
Really? Tell us why.
I'm having a really hard time.
Yeah, tell us.
I forgot how much...
You know what? I barely give you any space for this, Erin, because all you did in Canada was say like, oh, it's so different here. Everything's so hot. Oh God, it's so, they don't even do this. They don't have this. They don't have this. And all of a sudden you're telling me you're adjusting back here?
I cannot be pleased. Is the through line of my life.
By the way, join the club. So tell us what's going on.
Well, I don't miss like a lot of things, but I miss like people letting you finish a complete sentence. That's nice. Small things.
Oh,
like I was in LA last week and sorry I didn't see you, but I was testing negative almost the whole time. And then we went out to some dinners and I was like, this is lovely. And then I just remembered that you're not allowed to speak a full sentence or we have to talk about the internet the whole time. I don't give a shit about what's happening on the fucking phone. I really, truly don't care.
I mean, LA is also truly the place of like, oh God, I can't wait till you're done talking so I can talk. Can I talk now? Can I talk now? Like, I'm not listening. I just need to talk. That really is the vibe.
You're right.
Everyone's waiting to get theirs. And I have a friend who always says like, let's start with you. What's going on with you? And I'll be like, I'm good. And they go, oh, really? You are? Okay, listen, here's what's going on. And it's just like, you just needed one word from me to cue yourself to be like, okay, check that box. I asked how they were. My turn.
Well, that is a person who understands their own narcissism and how annoying it is, but refuses to stop. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, you know how we got on all these topics was you telling me about these people in New York who I don't know, who came back to LA. You were going to tell me a story about them and I think a life hack.
Here's my life hack for the people who were in town. So, first of all, I died laughing because they said their children, they have 3, 2 of them went.
They themselves are children.
No. They have children. They have children.
Okay.
2 of them are twins, and over the pandemic, they went from being like at the beginning of the pandemic, they were like 9, and at the end of the pandemic, they were 12. So they were being like Zoom schooled for some of this.
I see.
They said their first day back at school post pandemic, they came back home completely different people. Like they were like, fuck that shit. Like just immediately became like, you know how like kids change around hormonally, like 12, 13, that kind of thing. Immediately they came home, started cursing. Like
they were immediately teenagers.
Immediately teenagers.
Like they had been like a world had been opened up to them.
Completely.
Oh, I love this.
Completely. And they were like, I know the F word now, by the way.
And I'm going to use it.
Exactly.
How many face tattoos did they have?
Oh my God.
Sergio pulled up a picture of Bryan with the baby.
Okay. No face tattoos.
Were you sneezing though in this photo?
I had to have been. I'm not sure. Oh my God. So anyway, so yeah, that's my life hack.
It's just to send your kids to school, see how they can.
If you want to see how different they can become, if they came of age. But it's just so crazy how it happens that fast. Like,
but do you think I'm not a parent.
No.
And maybe some of you on here are. But have we not been around the world and I seen children go from sweet to teenagers and heard the jokes and seen the t-shirts? Everyone's always surprised.
Yeah.
That it could happen to them.
And the other life hack is that now they blame, like classically, their mother for everything.
Well, I think someone needs a little Jungian sit down.
Well, she's tough as nails, so I think it's like water off a duck's back for her.
Oh,
but basically,
she can't be killed. Gotcha.
I'm like, are they like that with their dad? And she's like, what do you think? Of course not. It's me. It's all my fault. Everything's my fault.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
because she's the person with all the boundaries.
I think.
I thought we were done with this. I mean, we're not, because I have a whole shoe about it. But I thought we were done.
I know.
With at least like with progressive people being like, oh, I do all the work. I had lunch with my friend and Allie was with us and she couldn't believe that Allie could sit with 2 women and have a conversation. She was dumbfounded.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I wish the children had been there because I really wanted to meet them. Well, Erin, you've been getting a lot of compliments from the lady attorneys.
Let's see here. Let's see. What kind of compliments?
Well, everyone says you look gorgeous. Everyone loves your glasses. People saying how beautiful you are. So that's wonderful. You know, I did put about 3 minutes of effort into myself today, just so everyone's aware.
Well, I did take a shower and prep before I got on the Zoom.
You look fabulous.
And I'm not saying that you didn't, but it did sound like you just rolled out of bed and drank a cup of coffee.
I would never, first of all, I would never take a shower in the morning. I usually only on the days I'm working. Otherwise, I take them at night.
Well, now we're doing a course correct in the comments, and everyone is saying that you are always handsome. So I guess that means sometimes I look busted.
I have to tell you, that's not true at all. But because Erin, I literally was the nightmare you just talked about with a straight guy. I'm basically asking for compliments, talking about myself, stealing your thunder. That's how that happened. I cornered them into those compliments. You always look
Sergio,
gorgeous.
who put this photo on the internet? Allison Becker?
My guess is you did.
I didn't put this photo up. I would not put this photo up.
Hysterical.
So FYI, I rented a car when I was in LA.
It is a photo of Erin and Allie in a convertible, and the caption says, I only hang out with friends who drive convertibles. That's hilarious.
Well, here's the thing. There's this app that's like the Airbnb of cars.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I know this. Like Turo or something.
Yeah. So
something like that.
I was going to go to Enterprise at Burbank Airport and get a fucking Nissan Sentra. And I did a price comparison. And for the amount of a Nissan Sentra, I could get a brand new BMW convertible.
You and my sister would have so much to talk about. She loves talking about this place.
About Turo?
She loves it.
Well, so you should have seen I'll tell you the car I'm going to show you the car I was going to rent. No, everyone's going to hate me after this.
Why?
You think you like my glasses?
By the way, this is actually a life hack.
Well, the life hack is if you're going to go to Los Angeles, you're already in the worst place on the planet. You might as well look it. You know?
Yep.
This was the other one I was going to get, a 2018 Porsche Boxster, totally orange.
Wait,
can you see this?
Yes.
And it wasn't available, but it was also
How
as much
fun.
as a fucking Honda Accord. So
Right.
I thought, well, why not just do this?
Yeah.
Why not just do this? I'm going to be there for 4 days. Why not by the way, pull out of this? Because that's not what you expect.
And now Sergio brings up a good point. If it were available, would you have gotten the Cybertruck?
No.
Okay.
Because I want to do something.
That's Trump's America to me.
That truck,
except for the fact that it's electric.
That truck is like, when they were doing production design for Total Recall, they said everything's great except for this design, throw it right in the trash. And then Elon Musk came in and dug it out of the garbage can.
Completely.
And then that's what he did.
My God, Erin, I wish you would have gotten that orange Porsche.
I know.
But you got an orange ring instead.
You know what? I'll do it next time. I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how cheap this was. I'm not being bougie.
Please
I'm
tell me
just
how
taking
much.
advantage of the system.
It was cheaper than like a standard car at like a car rental.
I'm not joking. It was cheaper than a Nissan Sentra.
Right.
Okay.
We in essence, we said the same thing. But yes, I know what you mean.
In essence, yes. Bryan, tell us about what's on the bonus slate this week.
We're back at Dateline. I was peer pressured. We heard from people about it. People were slapping me across the face, over email. And I was, Alanis. I was broken. So we're back at Dateline. This one came highly recommended, called The Carrollton Plot. And I got to say, I did miss Dateline. And in fact, watched another one after just because I wanted to.
Oh, that's how desperate you were because you actually hit rock bottom with Littlest Hobo and then Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
That's right. The Carrollton Plot, which is chock full of twists and turns. I mean, plot is right, honey. It was just no joke. So it's basically, this is an episode from 2014. Perfect church family.
Oh, yeah.
A murder for hire. Daughters.
I love Daughters.
No, well, Daughters in it. Scrapbooking is a lifesaver in this. I mean, listen, this is really like, we're back to the basics of why I came to this show and started loving it to begin with. Also, though, out on the Patreon this week, our Vault episode celebrates our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. Incredible. It's episode 52. Erin, you went to visit your grandfather in Palmdale, who thinks there's a lot of, quote, funny people in San Francisco.
Well,
which is like when my parents say, like, do you have a friend? I'm like, uh-huh. How's your
This
friend?
is also the man who said gay people shouldn't be in the military because if you're in like
foxhole,
if you're foxhole and there's
sure.
bullets whizzing by you don't want someone trying to fuck you.
Yeah. Well,
that was
true.
the logic. Yeah.
That is by the way, whenever, if anyone were ever to hold a gun to my face, I would say, I'm so sorry. All I want to do right now is fuck you.
By the way, I'll tell you something else.
Yeah.
I would embrace it. If I thought I was about to die, you better fucking believe I'd be fucking somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'd like to go down.
Exactly.
Go down fucking.
Exactly.
That's a Palm Springs shirt.
That's right.
Not Palm Springs. Palm Beach.
Yeah. Also, our YouTube, by the way, you get a little sneak peek of our video episodes every week on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube by searching Attitudes Pod. It's a great way to get a taste of what's happening on the Patreon. We, of course, have our watch parties on Discord Wednesday nights. We'll be watching the Dateline that I cover this week. And our Discord has a very lively, active, and very funny membership. So please go to that. And Erin, that's what I got, babe.
Babe, let's get into some shoops, babes.
Let's do it, babes. Now, Erin, I've never talked about this really on the show for no reason except that I really don't think it's anyone's business. But have you ever heard
But now it suddenly will be. Go ahead.
Well, now that it's helping people and people need to, trying to do more PSA work. Have you heard of Doxy PEP? Have you heard of that? And I didn't think so. I think it's still in sort of, I don't even know actually if the majority of queer people have heard of this. Probably
Is
not.
it a med?
You've heard of PrEP.
Yeah.
Which is sort of you take a pill every day, or now they have a shot you take every 3 months. to help prevent HIV if you have unprotected sex and all of this sort of things. Well, Doxy PEP has been around for a little bit, but it's sort of like, I still feel like it's kind of on the DL. Unless you're in a major city,
right?
I don't think you've really heard of it. But Doxy PEP essentially is like a morning after pill for STIs. So you would take this hopefully within 24 hours, I think max 72 hours, to drastically reduce your chances of getting bacterial STIs like gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. And it can bring your odds of getting those things down by anywhere from, I think for gonorrhea, it's anywhere between like 50 and 60%. But for syphilis and chlamydia, I think it's anywhere between like 70 and 85%.
Wow.
Like that.
And is this just for men?
No.
Like the hair color?
Okay. It can be for anybody. It can be.
Gotcha.
I think what they're using it for primarily is in LGBTQ plus communities, because in
higher
yes, it's STIs are practically an epidemic at this point. I mean, it really is.
I saw the billboards for eye syphilis.
Right, sure. The biggest culprit of all.
Why is this the thing that
you're talking? You saw these in LA, right? Because these are the crazy billboards that are everywhere in Los Angeles.
I didn't know you could get syphilis in your eyes.
Shit out of you. You can get syphilis in your eye. I wouldn't say that that's the majority of cases.
Well, this is why. But according to the amount of billboards, it makes it seem like this is the number one problem in Los Angeles.
Right, exactly. Eye syphilis is not the number one problem in Los Angeles. I would say, though, that syphilis's numbers have been on the rise for a while now. Gonorrhea and chlamydia, too. And another problem is that what some people face is drug resistance, that these things are getting harder and harder to treat because of antibiotic resistance. Now, Doxy PEP, you take one dose of, which is actually 2 pills at the same time. I think 2 100 milligram pills of doxycycline. Now, what they have noticed in this, speaking of drug resistance, is that people are not becoming resistant on one dose, so to speak, of doxycycline. That Doxy PEP is not making you more antibiotic resistant. But what it is doing is if you have engaged in unprotected sex with someone who you don't know their sexual history, one dose of this the next day, as I mentioned before, drastically reduces your chance of it developing into a bacterial STI. So this is not cover viral infections or anything like that.
But it's great.
Yes. And there are places that cover it. For instance, if you can't get into your doctor, if you don't have time to go in, there are those online places like Wisp and places like that where it costs generally between $15 and $25 to get a dose. But of course, when we talk about these things, we talk about lack of education. We talk about people who cannot even afford that, and getting better access to it. Because ultimately what that does is it's obviously way cheaper in the long run to give people a generic dose of Doxy PEP than it is to give someone a higher, stronger dose of something that develops into an STI that, by the way, then is easily transmissible. All 3 of those are very easy to get. If someone has it. So, on that hot tip, Doxy PEP is now, there are 2 representatives in California, Robert Garcia and Barbara Lee, U.S. representatives, who asked last week the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, the USPSTF, to make Doxy PEP, which, by the way, PEP stands for post-exposure prophylactic or prophylaxis, to make it free on insurance plans the way that they have with PrEP, because these are expensive medications. Now, even generic form doxycycline, which is what people would be getting, again, that can range from $15 to $25, but it can be free. Insurance companies can offer that for free. Certainly, they can offer PrEP for free. And a statement from Representative Garcia said, surging STIs disproportionately impact LGBTQ plus individuals. We have to ensure these folks have access to Doxy PEP, which is also being hailed as the most significant medical advancement in STI prevention in decades. So when you have something like this in your hot little hand, and when it can drastically reduce the spread of STIs, it does seem like it should be widespread. And I also feel like this is where the pharmacy situation, which is not the pharmacy's fault, it's whatever it is, the Food and Drug Administration's fault, whatever. You should be able, like you would probably be able to in Canada or Europe, go up to your pharmacist the next morning and say, I need a dose of Doxy PEP. And they should
the doctor
just be able
thing
to
is a way to control and have fucking personal information about who's getting what.
Right. Like, I feel like, don't you know your body? All a pharmacist, all a doctor is going to do is say, do you have a history of being allergic to this medication? That's it. That's what a pharmacist could easily say that. It actually drives me crazy that someone would actually have to, if they didn't know better or couldn't afford to go on something like a WISP or something like that, make a doctor's appointment, see if the doctor will see you, wait for their okay. You should be able to just get this at a pharmacy.
Also, doctors shouldn't want this either, because isn't it jamming up their fucking schedule?
Exactly. It's like, oh, you want one dose of doxycycline? Yeah, I don't think you need to come in for that.
No.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so there is a big push now to make this heavily discounted or even free. I think it should be. I think that when you see levels of something rising, and it doesn't cost insurance a thing really to make this for free, just go ahead and make it for free.
Now, would this be just in the state of California they're trying to push for this, or is this
nationally?
Right.
They're trying to push this nationally. Okay, so I'm all for that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and by the way, if you had never heard of Doxy PEP, it is I've taken it before. It is a great resource for if you've, I gotta say. Everyone,
did you see what someone put in the
I did. Someone
chat?
said their doctor said, if you need a refill of Doxy PEP next month, good for you. If you don't, sucks.
Guess you're not getting enough.
No, but there's certainly no shame in it. And, it just, all of these things for me ease your stress in situations like this. We're only human.
Sex is natural. Sex is good. Not everybody does it, but everybody should.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. You just want to be smart about it. And this helps you with that. The only thing is, if you've ever taken an antibiotic, sometimes they can upset your stomach. But in my opinion, for me, small price to pay.
Just eat some cottage cheese.
Why
have
does
some
that have
yogurt.
Because probiotic?
Well, every time I have something that upsets my stomach, I do a base. It's all about that base for my tum-tum.
Absolutely. Yeah, Meghan Trainor gets right in that stomach, jams out.
WWMTD.
Absolutely. Quickly, I wanted to mention something else that's really unexpected and a shock. For the first time ever, China granted visitation rights to a gay mom who was separated from her daughter. And the fact that she was separated from her daughter to begin with is horrible. This was a situation where two mothers, I think they were married, had a child in the States, then moved back to China, and they only acknowledged the genetic mother as the mother of this child. And this happens in other countries, and the threat is always looming. I mean, that's like that would be probably what would happen in a country like this if the power went to the wrong people. So this child's other mother, who might not have been genetically or biologically related to this child, was the mother of this child, is the mother of this child. She identified she had a nickname, this person, Dee Dee, married her wife in the U.S. Later that year, they underwent IVF and made with embryos from the wife's egg and donor. And in 2017, Dee Dee gave birth to the girl and the wife gave birth to the boy. So because Dee Dee actually gave birth to the girl, she is allowed to see her again and have parental rights. She's not allowed to see the boy anymore because she didn't carry the boy.
What? Who's keeping them away? The state of the Chinese government?
Well, the mother, the wife, the ex-wife now, is the one who kept her away. And the other mother was fighting her, saying, like, you can't do that, I'm the mother. But China said, no, you're actually not. And now in a reversal, they said, oh, no, you are of just the daughter. But this is the first time that the Chinese courts have been confronted with a same-sex couple's custody dispute. And the fact that they did grant this Dee Dee access now to her daughter when it had been 4 years, I don't necessarily know that. I mean, it is certainly progress in that area, But China is now more incentivized since they sort of quit the one child only policy in 2016 because the birth rates have declined so drastically that they are now inclined to protect the rights of children who are not born in sort of heterosexual circumstances.
Isn't that fucked up, though? They're just basically like, we need more workers, so I guess we're going to be cool now.
Exactly. So now, according to this article from LGBTQ Nation, children born to single parents, unmarried parents, and queer parents are having a surge of acceptance that China hasn't known before, pointed because of this one child only policy, that now they're scrambling and they're like, oh, maybe your kids should be legitimate, and maybe we should treat them for respect since like no one's getting born here anymore since the birth rate's declining so much. A new survey, though, conducted in China by the Williams Institute at UCLA, this is wild, said that 85% of respondents in this survey in China had favorable attitudes about same-sex parents. 90% in China support the concept of same-sex marriage. So this is absolutely a case where the government, who is not necessarily in their policy tried to be antagonistic, the lawyer for Didi called it an avoidance policy, where they just like don't deal with it, don't talk about it, that kind of thing. But the country overwhelmingly is in favor of things like this. Well, so this is like with all of these places, the country is usually way more advanced than the government in these situations. Sometimes that's not the case, and the government is saying like, you'll get there, we're going to do the right thing, and the population can accept it later. For instance, like what happened, I think, in this country, actually.
Right.
But that's a lot of good news coming out of there. A shame that she can't see her son, but hopefully things are ticking in the right way for that. So
I don't want to see my sons. That's the
no. But also, Erin, I mean, they were truly horror. I mean, I remember when they made you jump up that high dive and there was no water in it.
Yeah. Well, then and the reason they were supposed to fill it up, but then it was January 6th, so they went to storm the Capitol.
They really
Which I found out later.
Where did they get those horns on their head? How did they buy those?
Oh, those? I made those for them. They told me it was a Halloween costume.
It was supposed to be like Where Wild Things Are theme.
Yeah. See, Bryan has bad daughters, very bad daughters.
Well, we tried to get them together because they were all four terrible people.
Well, we wanted to marry them off, but then we were like, oh God, they're going to make more of them.
Yes, exactly. So ultimately they did, I think total, Erin and I have probably about 6 restraining orders against people, but also against us.
Yeah. We have a the problem is that we're out of restraining orders because they have them against us, and some of Bryan's daughters have them against me, and some of my sons have them. They're cross doing it. They're cross doing it. They're cross doing it. So we really should iron it all out, but later.
Yeah. No, it's too much cross doing it. Yeah, exactly.
I got BMW convertibles to rent.
Absolutely. I've got rings to buy, honey.
Outside of my
absolutely.
Price
I've got coffee to drink.
Absolutely pretending I'm somebody else. I've got to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Did you know that this week's episode is 666? I couldn't be happier because I'm going to talk about, well, I'll get into it, but I'm very happy this is a 666 episode. So I appreciate a lot of people.
I don't know about any of this. I don't know about this.
You're going to love the person I'm going to talk about today then.
Oh, okay, good.
If you have a problem with this, you're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
I love people who tell me their parking situation in their neighborhood before I've left my house. Not 5 minutes before I'm supposed to get there.
I appreciate that too.
I appreciate people.
Someone the other day said to me, is the parking chill where you are? And I was like, it's so chill. It's so chill.
It couldn't be chiller.
It's so just like leaning back.
Although, Bryan, it's actually not on a Saturday.
In Wa's neighborhood?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because everyone's visiting the busy street.
And that's the day that the farmer's market's open.
Yes.
That's true. You're right.
Saturdays,
it is very tense. Every other day, parking is so chill. Yeah.
I also appreciate the woman who runs the block in Gastown, which is a clothing store. I went in to get a dress for the wrap party, and she was like, hey, I like your shirt. Is it this brand B-side? And I said, it absolutely is. And she goes, have you tried their jeans? And I go, I'm burnt on jeans. I'm in between sizes. Nobody can help me. I'm a lost cause. Let me die.
Pat Regan has a very funny joke where he talks about his, I mean, I'm going to butcher it because it's like a whole story he says, but he's like, I just want a pair of like normal jeans, just normal jeans that normal people wear, not like slim, skinny. It's very funny. I butchered it. So.
Okay. So this is the problem. I'm between sizes, and I went to 2 department stores in Canada, which is where I was living because I was a Canadian. And I had tried on probably in and around 100 pairs of jeans. None of them, they all made me look like just like these jeans were like, I'm going to disrespect you by just being on your body.
Right. Jeans are so tough. Yeah.
Then she said, do you want to try the B-side jeans? And I said, no, I don't. I'm too emotionally scarred. Right. I have PTSD. I don't want to go down this route. And she said, she goes, I totally get it, but these jeans are made by 2 women who absolutely love female bodies and want to make every female body look good. When I tell you, me and my friend who were there with totally different body styles bought the same pair of jeans, that's the selling point I have for these jeans.
Did you try them on in the store?
In the store, I tried them on.
Can I tell you, if they had not worked out, I never would have forgiven the person who, that salesperson, because I got to tell you, for me to try on jeans, for me to try on anything in a store is like, I better really like it. But for me to try on jeans in a store, if they hadn't worked out, I would have left and said, you know what? You go to hell.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Because it's Canada, the sell was not hard. She was being really normal about it.
Yeah.
And as your friend who parks in your street would say, chill.
That's wonderful. Wait, so that's great. So they worked out.
They're the best jeans I've ever worn.
Wow.
They're the best jeans God bless this woman because... or feminist, Jesus bless this woman, because she was like, I really think you're going to like them. They fit a lot of women. I know what you're saying about other jeans. And I bought 3 pairs. They're brilliant. Okay. And the can't
brand
wear them
is
enough.
B-side.
B-sides. They're out of New
York. And how much
much
are you getting paid for this?
Oh, how do you think I got the BMW convertible?
Right.
For the size, even for the price of a Nissan Sentra. Anyway, she softly suggested this. I won't stop saying it all in one package.
Even for the price of Nissan Sentra has been said so many times. I love it.
You have to understand. I was not trying to flex my muscle. I was just trying to stretch my dollar.
You did it, baby. You did it. Yeah.
And when I tell you, and then I'm going to get to my shoe, what an idiot I was to do this during the hottest week of LA. Do you think that top came down?
Right.
The minute the top came down, my skin was sizzling like bacon.
Frying. Yeah.
It went right back up.
Still fun though. Did you get to drive in like Malibu or Pacific Coast Highway or anything like that?
Every night we said, why don't we go to the beach? And then we said, simply too tired.
Yeah, simply
that's true.
Too tired. It's a road trip for sure.
The fucking entire city of LA in that heat is so exhausting. I had to take naps.
Yeah. Heat's exhausting.
I couldn't deal. I was rendered useless, basically. We did drive up to everything we did was the wrong time. We drove up to the observatory. There were too many people. We drove the top down.
Disneyland, too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many
people. To Hollywood and Highland.
I was going to take on Saturday to Huntington Gardens. Too many people.
Also,
it's too hot. It was too hot for Huntington.
It is too hot. It is too hot. Yeah.
I'll take it when it's not.
You know what's fucked up? There's actually not a lot of shade there.
None at all.
I know. And it's a garden. Yeah.
Because it's
Descanso has a lot of shade.
Okay, yeah. But the problem with Huntington is that all the plants are protected, but the sidewalks are like, stay away, humans.
Completely.
Do you know they have a theft problem with the Huntington where people are stealing rare plants? Massive problem right now.
That is what I call sick.
Sickos.
Sick tickets.
Okay. So I appreciate all those people. I don't appreciate people stealing plants at the Huntington because the Huntington's for everybody.
It's beautiful.
I very much appreciate people who wade through the GOP scrum to tell us what's going on the ground floor, which is why I'm here to tell you. Well, first, let's celebrate Elaine Godfrey, who did this article in the Atlantic called Conservative Women Have a New Phyllis Schlafly.
Oh, no.
And introduced me. And now I will introduce you, moi and toi, to Allie Beth Stuckey.
In like Flynn.
So, Bryan, I mean, we talk about on this show how much these globs have names that you just can't get out of your mouth. Schlafly and Stuckey. Sounds like a law firm that sues tenant rights orgs.
Completely.
And they really are in spirit, these people. Allie Beth Stuckey has really nailed this new kind of conservative evangelicalism.
I wonder if anyone calls Allie Beth Stuckey abs.
Well, from this point on,
yes,
we shall.
From now on.
Just this new type of like person who cherry picks elements of feminism for themselves, but then not for the people who follow them. Like,
I feel like she's the kind of person who says like mature and immature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's like, women belong at home, as she orders a honey latte that someone else makes. You know, right. Women should make their own butter. I'm going to order this specialty lavender drink.
Right.
It's this Rubik's Cube of ideals that don't really jive to me. And it's just like women in the middle who are like, maybe don't have enough critical thinking skills to go beyond what they've been taught in their very small hardcore Christian circles, but want some of those things, but then also feel the pressure to be this other way. Like, for example, saying women should make their children their first priority before their careers, but who themselves have dedicated their lives to recording a conservative podcast every single day of the week.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm preaching you
they're
one
just
thing.
Branding. Yeah. They're just, yeah.
It's fucking evangelical preachers in a different form. It's right. Fucking Joel Osteen, who's like not going to open his doors up for anybody who's experiencing flooding, who has elevators in his house, private jets, but is telling you like you need to help your neighbor. And that's what we're talking about. It's just in a different form. And they're making themselves rich and powerful in the process of spewing this stuff that they expect other people to do, but not themselves. Chronically letting their mouths write checks that their butts can't cash.
Sure.
Now, I don't know why that ever became a phrase. I don't know why butts are backed by the Fed.
No, me neither.
FDIC, whatever.
It's a good question. I hope that's a debate question.
Yeah, I hope they talk about that at the DNC tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Let me give you a little TED talk about what good old Allie Beth has been up to, aka abs.
Yeah.
Number one, keeping those low light and highlight hair sessions in business. This baby doll has been getting those painted. Someone is the painter of light and dark, and that is her stylist.
Honey, it's chiaroscuro all up in the hair.
Well, you think that foil is for tacos? No. It is for a literal, you know, when you see someone with highlights and the foils are up so high that they touch and it's just a round ball of foil hair.
Very like John Water, Female Trouble, their salon scenes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's keeping somebody in wherever she's at, Nashville, Houston, Dallas. She's keeping someone in a lot of business, okay? She has somehow perfected the look of the girl in high school who pushed you down the stairs because your Cure t-shirt is demonic. Like, she's got that down.
Yeah.
So kudos to her for that.
And this really is her episode, 666. I mean, this was tailor-made for her.
Tailor-made.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Paige Denham.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to say just Splendid t-shirts. She's still keeping Splendid tees in business, probably. Okay. Maybe she doesn't wear a Birkenstock because maybe that's too liberal.
Yeah. Crocs, maybe?
Yeah. Or what is the fancy ballet slippers?
Oh.
Todd's,
yes.
No, I mean, this bitch, she rode off on her in her wedding in a Rolls Royce, so I think it's nothing but the best.
I'm so ill.
Yeah. Okay. She has a podcast called Relatable with Allie Beth Stuckey.
Wow. Okay, Todd's.
Relatable?
Rolls Royce.
I want Relatable to be the new Demure.
Absolutely.
Like when I went it's the new weird for me. Oh, that's relatable, which is a dig.
Right.
I would like to turn Relatable into a dig. So her podcast is, if you go on Apple Podcasts, it's described as upbeat and in-depth. Relatable with Allie Beth Stuckey breaks down the latest in culture news, theology, and politics from a Christian conservative perspective.
So relatable.
Allie's fresh analysis of the most important issues provides an entertaining and effective way to stay in the know. Now, let me tell you, this sounds jaunty.
I mean, this sounds like get your jodhpurs on and let's go. Yeah.
Jaunty adjacent at the very least. Okay, here are some of her episode titles. Episode 1050. I think she's been in business for like 3 years. She's already got 1,050 episodes.
So she really does record every single day.
Oh, she's chronically in the studio.
But women shouldn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
Trump rejoins ex Amani Khalifa's mail. That's one episode. Episode 1046, ex-psychic on demonic possession and Taylor Swift. So a person who left
Relatable. This show's called Relatable.
Relatable. And then 1042, episode 1042, breaking down the Olympics satanic symbolism. Chill. Her books are chill too. One of them is Toxic Empathy, How Progressives Exploit Christian Compassion. Now, I haven't read this, but I assume it's how progressives are nice and community driven instead of controlling and selfish.
Isn't that horrible? I love that she thinks I love that her motto is give nice back to us. Like there shouldn't be more nice people than us.
Yeah. And then here's another book she has, You're Not Enough and That's Okay, Escaping the Toxic Culture of Self-Love, which is a framework for escaping our culture of trendy narcissism. Now, girl, I have to say something. Pot, kettle, black.
No
trendy
shit.
Narcissism. Do you know what's trendy and narcissistic? Starting a podcast. We should know.
Absolutely. Listen.
We should fucking know.
That's right. That's it. It's trendy. It's narcissistic. For us, I think it was a hole that just could not be filled. I mean,
we can, and listen,
we are so dark-sided at this point, Erin.
Shall never be filled.
Shall never be filled.
This podcast will never end because we are unlovable and unfixable.
Absolutely.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're out there toting stuff like, she's also touting
satanic symbolism and the Olympics.
This woman, she has medical experts on, quote unquote.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
She talks about how she buttresses all of her ideals with scientific research.
Right.
No. Just because you had a doctor on who's also fringe talking about The Secret and how it cures cancer, that doesn't make you a fucking medical expert.
Absolutely not. Oh, she's a nightmare.
Okay, so she's against birth control, surrogacy, and IVF, even among married straight cis couples, which is some real, well, my body works and you should just deal with what God gave you because he doesn't make mistakes attitude. No fucking surprise, she's against reproductive rights as a whole and a staunch fighter for marriage to be defined between a man and a woman. She doesn't believe that transgender is a thing. She believes feminism hurts women because we don't work the same as men. Drag queens need to stop reading to children, a thing she doesn't seem to be doing with her own time, but okay. I didn't see you in a fucking library, bitch. Then she said the reason that there shouldn't be two fathers raising a family is because women are predisposed to be nurturing. Says a woman who spoke at the 8th annual Young Women's Leadership Summit in San Antonio, where the merch for sale read strawberry jams, but my Glock don't. Now, I don't know what fucking is nurturing about that.
Pure shock. Erin, this is when I really feel like an alien. This is when I really feel like,
none of it makes sense.
Wait, she's in the same business as we are?
None of it makes sense. None of it.
Wow.
Two men shouldn't raise children because they can't be nurturing, says a woman selling adjacent to merch that says strawberry jams, but my Glock don't. Then, I mean, honestly, God, when I tell you, by the way, I subscribe to The Atlantic because the reads in this article are so subtle and good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to what happened because I mean I've never fallen in love with the journalist faster than I have reading this article. Okay, so she said the reason that there shouldn't be I read that. Okay, so she went on a tear about women needing to stay at home with their kids and put their jobs and careers second. So, then Elaine, who was interviewing her, who by the way she was scared to talk to Elaine because Elaine is a journalist,
right?
Or outside the Christian media network. Right. Elaine asked her who watches her children while she's in the studio, and she declined to offer details, but said that her husband is not a stay-at-home dad. So basically was like, essentially somebody else, and definitely not my husband because he's not a fucking pussy, watching our children like a fucking pussy.
Right. And meanwhile, isn't she an advocate for, like, I would imagine not having anyone help you with your children, but like, no, I stay at home and I raise my children. Well,
yes, the exact reason that everyone in the 70s.
And by the way, that's okay. Like, just live and die by your own sword, babe. That's all.
She can't do it. And I've got examples of how she can't do it. So I also think it's sad, feeling like you have to go out of your way to say that your husband's not a stay-at-home dad. That is sad on the level of, like, she expects her followers and listeners to do this impossible task of putting kids first while their spouses don't have to. But it's also doubling down on this idea that your husband staying home with your kids is a disgusting idea. Here's what I don't get. I've never gotten in the whole Christian evangelical thing. Why are men in this realm desirable? They're not sexy. They don't like their kids. They don't participate in their family.
They dress horribly.
They dress horribly. They're not. They can't be good at fucking. There's no fucking way they're good at having sex. No. What is their value? What are these men's value? I guess that some would say that they're a leader, but I would say the best leaders in the world have done the jobs first, not just the ones who say they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
How can you be a leader if you don't even know how to change your kid's diaper?
I think you throw a ball at them.
You know what you are? You're a disgusting fucker. No, you're a disgusting, orgasm ignorant, fucking all the pleats in the world on those chinos.
Sockless everywhere.
Fucking skid marks on your fucking tidy whities.
Completely.
Cowardly know-it-all.
Yeah.
Just men in the evangelical sphere, at least the women work hard. They've got to, because it's their fucking role. At least they work hard churning their own butter or whatever.
Yeah.
These men do nothing. These men have no value. She says premarital sex is a no-no. She married her husband 6 months after they fell in love at CrossFit, which is where she was instructor, which no shame in that. But as a Christian woman, I don't think women should be telling men how they should be doing butterfly curls with tractor tires. I just don't think that's very ladylike.
I don't either.
For a woman to stand up there and tell a man, grab that garbage can filled with cement and here's how you roll it across the floor.
Wrong.
I don't think it's very ladylike.
Me neither.
By the way, Brian, would you like to guess what brand of champagne A-line dresses the bridesmaids wore at her wedding?
What brand of champagne they wore?
Brand of champagne-colored A-line dresses.
Oh, please say McClintock?
No, the other
damn
one.
It. Hang on. God, what is the other one? What is the... Don't...
Who's making millions off of Christian brides in the South?
God, I don't know.
Bible covers.
Vera Wang.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
Vera Wang actually has some answerings to do for the fact that she's making she's making a lot of cash off these women.
Yeah, she is.
Okay. What might be the most illustrative statement about her ethos as a human being is this. This is what she said in the article. There just weren't very many. This is why she decided to start speaking up. Okay. There just weren't very many white evangelical women saying that actually loving your neighbor does not mean being a pro BLM. That actually loving your neighbor doesn't mean wearing a mask and taking the vaccine. So that you can be a loving person even if you do hateful things. I reject the premise wholeheartedly.
All that says is everything you do is right.
That's all it is. I'm right, you're wrong. I can
mistakes.
Still love you even though you're a stupid idiot.
Those are really the people the sort of Christians who, and I think this is on a large scale, the loudest Christians who really like the judgment part of all of that.
They love it. They get off on it.
Not the do unto others. They don't like the golden rule. They like the judgment.
It's these people go in, their foreplay is talking about how much they hate other people. It's the only time they fucking jizz in that community.
Alana said, when you were describing the kind of men, the orgasm averse men. She said these are the men who definitely call it babysitting whenever they have to stay with their kids.
Oh, 1,000%. And complain about it.
A family friend, when I was like visiting home one time, like one of this couple that my parents are friendly with, if they're younger though, were like, the woman was like, oh, I have to go out for an hour or whatever. And the guy goes, well, what am I supposed to do with them about the children? And she was like, what do you mean? It's just an hour. And he was like, I know, but like, what do I do? And she was like, and you could watch a movie, you could play outside,
figure
you could play
it out.
A game.
Why?
Like,
but here's what I don't understand, Bryan.
An hour.
I'm going to say something that is going to be wildly conservative.
Uh-oh.
Before you have kids, I would suggest you babysit for one night. And you actually, sure. And you know what you do? If you're concerned that your spouse might not be able to handle it, you should have them watch a relative of the family under the age of 5 for 2 days and see if that man, because let's be honest, it's going to be them, doesn't fucking absolutely crumble and come back to you and say, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because you need to know this shit before you have children. Just because it's there doesn't make them different.
This is true.
It doesn't make them different. I can't. Anyway, I would be remiss if I didn't mention her dad, former Texas rep, and his name is I didn't write it down. Simons. I think his name's Ron Simons. He wrote a book.
Okay.
Oh, no, there he is. Ronald Simons. He had a book who came out recently and he did a bunch of interviews for it. And I have to read you these from his Facebook page. It's going to really paint the evangelical media landscape for you.
God.
First one. This is a direct quote from her dad. I enjoyed my time with Gabriel Wrench, the water boy, on his Business Makers podcast. A host named Gabriel Wrench, the water boy. Okay. The second one said, you will enjoy my latest podcast interview with Method Men podcast. Method Men.
With Method,
not Method Man.
Podcast.
Yeah. Method Men. And this is my favorite one. What a great time I had on Eric Kahn podcast called Hard Men Podcast. Hard Men is an evangelical podcast.
Sick.
And it's not about Fire Island. And it's not about the Magic Mike Vegas show. It's about men who are hard, who act hard for Jesus. Bryan, we're both people from Texas. When I see someone presenting like Allie Beth, I avoid at all costs. I am no stranger to the precious moments in the streets, guy from Hellraiser in the sheets kind of woman, okay, in Texas. And I would be fucking aware of these because they are cuddly trad wives and they are doing really fucked up stuff behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Wanting to go back in time while also keeping things that they love, like their cell phones and TikTok, really weaponizing modern media that they simultaneously hate, but using it to spread their gospel of fucking evil. It is truly nearly the plot of M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Mm-hmm. Is what they're doing. They're like, but we're by society, but we're doing this weird thing where we have a dog monster that lives in a shed. They don't believe what they say. Not only are they like, do all this submissive shit. Well, I don't do that. Here's the thing that got me. And this is a true, Your Honor, I rest my case. This woman has a video titled Dinosaurs Are Not Real. And in the background of her, I'm going to show you this, in the background of her YouTube videos.
Well, you know what, Erin? Maybe she's talking in the present tense because now they're not real. I mean, they aren't. You know, they're not around.
But she doesn't believe dinosaurs exist. But I just put in the chat, this is the background of her YouTube show. In the background, she quite literally has a Brontosaurus planter with a succulent in it.
Oh my God, you're right.
There might actually be two. These people do not have an ideological through line. They don't actually believe what they said. If you were hardcore Brontosaurus, dinosaurs don't exist, why do you have a plant in one?
Great question.
Your Honor, I rest my case.
Thank you to all our lady attorneys for being here with us this week. We're going to do a Q&A with you right after the show. Of course, if you want to become a lady attorney, just go to patreon.com/attitudes. You can also go there for my return, my long-awaited back in the saddle return to Dateline with the Carrollton plot. Apparently a Dateline classic that I had never seen. So this is one of the best, apparently. Came highly recommended. And so you'll see what you think of it. It's available for the $10 plus tier. And what else, Erin?
We've got a Vault episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Our Brewer Shoe is over there, our new bonus series or bonus thing. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys.
And if anybody remembers what we said we were going to close the show out with forever and always, and could you let us know? Because we don't remember.
Yeah. Was it keep in touch? Oh, thank you for sharing your laugh.
Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you for sharing your laugh. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your laugh, Bryan.
You're welcome, Erin. Thank you for sharing yours.